Hey guys, new comic book day for the week of November 30th. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Because it is Christmas, we want to do more giveaways. So starting next week, you're going to see a lot more stuff that we're going to be giving away just because we have a lot of stuff in the office that just needs to get out. So we're going to get started right now. All right, this week was a light week for us. Like, we actually kind of struggled to figure out what we're going to be reading because there just really wasn't much there. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see is kind of off the wall, but I hope you do find something that you do like. So first up is Injustice, annual issue number 1. This is a good off one to read if you haven't read any of the Injustice, but you're kind of curious about it, because it doesn't really have a lot to do with the overall storyline. There are little things that kind of tie into what's going on, and of course it will set up a little bit of what's going on in Injustice, but it's enough to read that you don't have to worry about following the story. As most annuals go, it's a compilation of some stories. We're dealing with a Harley story because obviously it's DC, so there has to be a Harley story and everything. And then we're dealing with Ares and Black Lightning and bringing them back into the fold because, for those who don't know, Injustice is about Superman just finally being fed up with everything and it's like, screw it, I'm taking over, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's kind of how this is going. The art is okay for some parts of it, but again, whenever you're dealing with stories like this, there's different art, there's different artists, there's different writers. So you might like some of the book, and then you might not like some of the book. Overall, it's a pass, but if you had been reading Injustice, this is probably something that you might like to kind of bridge the gap between what's going on.
Hey guys, it's Tim from Capes and Scowls, and look, Moon Knight Volume 1 is out. You know Moon Knight Volume 1 is amazing, because I told you every single issue was amazing. And the art is amazing, because it keeps changing up, and... oh, actually, it doesn't in this volume, till issue 5. I lied to you. But you know what? This book's great, and if you love Moon Knight, you will love this. And if you don't love Moon Knight, take a chance. What are you waiting for? It won't hurt you. Batman in a white costume. Just tell yourself that. And learn what a great character is. Alright guys, and here we go. Great Lakes Avengers number 2. Now if you remember, I reviewed issue 1 and I really liked it. This issue, I also really liked it. It's fun. It's you don't have to think too much. It's heroes just having a good time. They're really lame heroes, and that makes it so much fun. Doorman is one of my new favorite characters. All he does is order weird drinks at the bar. Basically in this issue, the Great Lake Avengers get into some legal trouble. They might end up in a holding cell or two. You find out more about Mr. Impossible, I think his name is, the guy who can't die. It's okay. But if you just like books you don't have to think too hard about and just have a good time, this is the one for you. Still good.
Hey guys, Lexi Lux here. I'm going to review No Angel, issue number 1. This is a brand new series that just came out. And actually, I really, really enjoyed this. I didn't have high hopes for it. But it's more of like a murder mystery kind of comic book. It's actually pretty good, and there's a really awesome ending to it. So I would definitely recommend this. I would say... I give it a 4.5 out of 5 for how good it was.
Up next, Batman, annual number 1. Unlike Injustice number 1, I really kind of like this one. I am a diehard Captain Christmas kind of guy. Like, I love Christmas. Christmas is the greatest time of the year for me. I love it. So to have Batman stories all dealing with Christmas on their annual, I don't even know if the stories were that good, but I love them because they're stories. There was one... about Batman and a dog. It's Batman and a dog. But yeah, I liked it. Some of the stories were okay. Some of the stories were but there was one story that's going to tie in directly to the series. So if you're completist and you really like a lot of the stuff that's going on, or if you're just looking for some off-story things about Batman, it's definitely one to pick up. So I suggest picking this one up, not because of the art, because like I said, only half the book really I liked. Some of the art changed to something just wasn't a fan of. But overall, the stories tended to keep me interested in all of them.
Alright, and coming back in with this here Wolfcop again. Wolfcop is great. If you like weird sci-fi horror property, I don't even know what you would qualify this as. Let's not label it. It's a wolf cop, and he's out for justice. He drinks heavily and gets more powerful the more drunk he gets. I really enjoyed this issue. It deals with Wolf Cop finding this evil brothel with weird zombie-like mistresses of the night. He thinks it's going to be a great night. It is not. And a lot of insanity ensues. I really enjoy the art because I enjoy what they took away from the movie and that they are bringing in here. His transformation looks pretty gruesome, like it does in the movie, with the skin ripping apart, which was pretty cool considering the art is not super detailed. It's good art, but it's not like this super realistic style. I really like the book, and Wolf Cop is just zany horror, weird kind of fun. So, Wolf Cop, you love it. Wolf Cop.
Next, I'm going to be reviewing New Talent Showcase, issue number 1. This is basically a mashup of a whole bunch of different comics, bunch of different stories. If you are one that likes to change it up a lot, I would definitely recommend this. For me personally, it was too much going on, and I couldn't really follow every single story that there was. But I definitely did enjoy all of the different illustrations because there are a bunch of, if I can get to the page, there are a bunch of different illustrators and everything right on this page. And it's actually pretty darn amazing. But I would give it maybe 3.5 out of 5, but based on illustration, a 5 out of 5.
Last up, Suicide Squad, issue number 7. Yeah, get it, because it's Jim Lee. I keep saying that every week, but it's Jim Lee art. If you're not a fan of Jim Lee art, or anybody around that kind, we're not friends. It's just not going to happen. It's not that bad, but the art has been spectacular throughout the entire series so far. Jim Lee has been killing it. This is definitely one that I've been picking up, and I haven't missed a single issue of. This one, Harley is sane. Like, we're dealing with still with the fallout of the void that's happening for the last couple issues. We're basically trying to fix what is going on in Belle Reve, and all hell is breaking loose, and we are stuck with Harley, and not Harley, we're actually stuck with Harleen Quinzel. We are stuck with a sane, not crazy Harley, and for parts, that is great, and then for other parts, that's going to be a problem. Highly suggest picking this one up. It's definitely one that I've been following for a while. The art is spectacularly done by Jim Lee, and yeah, so this is definitely my recommendation for the week. Last week, everybody kind of pitched me into a scale, so for Suicide Squad, it's definitely a 5 out of 5. I'll just go retroactively. Batman, at 3.5. I liked it. It was definitely good. For the Injustice 2, I mean, I could take it or leave it, but yeah.
All right, guys, my final book, because nobody wanted to read it, and I don't understand why. It's the holidays. You got to read Frozen. Disney's Frozen. Issue number, does it matter? 3, because they're all kind of their own story. Actually, one of them continues the next issue. So it's 3 stories, 2 tiny stories, and 1 longer story in the middle. The first story deals with their aunt coming to visit them, and they got to prepare, and they're trying. It's just a moral, like, hey, you know, don't. They're trying to make the culture of their great aunt from some other country. Then they're trying to make her food from her country. They fail. It's like, hey, just be yourself, and she'll love you anyways. And then she does, and they see the real Arendelle and all of that. Can you tell I've seen this movie 7,000 times? I have a 6-year-old. I can sing that song, but I won't. Copyright reasons. This is a really good book for children. It's not a terrible book for adults. It's just written in a way from a storytelling point of view that drives me batty. Your longer story should be your first story, not your middle story. And the other 2 stories were kind of nonsense. It could have been better. But for children will love this. There's hidden morals and messages that they won't pick up on, and they'll just subliminally be better children. And you could use that, because children are awful, aren't they? So, Let it go, my friends. This is a good book.
Next, I'm going to be reviewing Ghost Rider. This is issue number 1, and I think I love this book. At first, I thought that this was going to be really, really bad, and I admit it, I judged it based solely on just Ghost Rider, because I'm not a huge fan of Ghost Rider in the movies or anything like that. But it actually was very, very good. The ending has a really cute love twist, and I'm one for romantics and things like that. So I definitely would say you should read this. And it's very, very good. And the illustrations actually were very cartoony, so I think that kept my attention a lot more. But definitely a 4.75 out of 5. It's really good.
All right, guys, this week's trade recommendation is Paper Girls, trade issue number 2. We did a series of books that kind of tied into my love of Stranger Things. Paper Girls was one of those series. This one is picking up very well. I like this one better than I do the first one. The first one was good. It was enough to hook me in. But if you liked where it was going, you definitely need to pick up this one because it solidifies a lot of the story that's going on. You are getting to realize what's going on. The plot is more sussed out, I think. We're still dealing with the cliffhanger from the last trade of Aaron finding older Aaron, and now we're trying to basically fix the timeline that's going through, and it's just going worse and worse and worse. But the writing is solid throughout the entire thing. For those that are older, all the little references are always endearing to you. It's probably one of the reasons why Stranger Things did so well, is because you get that nostalgia feel to it in addition to the story that's going on. There's even an Airwolf reference, so for anybody who grew up in the 80s, like their little kid just kind of screamed in their heart. Definitely pick this one up. Never been a fan of the art, but the storyline is definitely worth checking out. Brian K. Vaughan is a great author, at least on this book. I'm not a huge fan of Saga, but Tim loves Saga, and other people love Saga. Lots of people love Saga. So if you like his writing, you're definitely going to love this series, and I highly suggest picking this one up. If I wasn't so in love with Suicide Squad, this would definitely be my pick of the week. So that is what's going to be our giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Capes and Scowls channel, like this video, and then comment with a recommendation that you may have found through our series, or just with a recommendation, whatever. That's pretty much it. So for this week's winner of a Daredevil Yellow, it is Shadow Dash. So Shadow Dash, make sure you send us a message with your address, and we will get you out a trade of Daredevil Yellow. And then last week, our winner for a copy of Flashpoint was Michael Bird. So now we are all cleared up. Make sure you guys email us so that way we know who to send things out to. And we will see you guys next week.